Welcome back to The Hook on Woodward Sports Network. All right, guys, I know you guys have all been waiting to bring these guys on. Calvin Johnson, Rob Sims, welcome to the show, guys. Thanks for coming on. Hey, so you guys have got this event going on, the Greenhouse Summer of Cannabis kickoff party. There's a lot going on. You can meet yours truly, Darren McCarty. You can also meet Rob Sims and Calvin Johnson, where you guys are going to be featuring your line, Primitive. Tell us a little bit about your line and what people can expect this weekend.
Well, I think we're just, we're just excited to be able to come out to the greenhouse. We're just, so happy that we were invited. D, it's good to see you, brother.
Good to see you too.
It's been a long time, man. How you doing?
Good.
And Primitive, we have an authentic brand that really is circles around the us playing in the NFL and us using cannabis to kind of help us cope with pain, chronic pain, and looking to be able to provide a treatment in the future for CTE and other neurocognitive disease like PTSD and stuff like that. So our brand is an authentic brand. We want to help. Just so glad that me and Calvin were able to partner up, and now we've got something that we think is special to share with everybody. So I'm just looking forward to it.
I think that it is great to see both of you. So obviously, we'll get to football and we'll let Mads talk maybe next segment. But this is important because this is the people's health and stuff.
Yeah.
But you guys both made a cognizant decision to make Michigan your home and to do this here. Why? What was your decision, and Calvin? What was it here, and why did this relationship between you and Rob come together?
I mean, being able to be around the growing cannabis industry at the time, I guess it started really here in '08, but it's out in the West Coast. We're able to see it, but I wanted to be able to participate on the ground level. And
I just wanted to be able to participate on the ground level. And being here in Michigan, we're able to participate from the ground level, be able to grow this thing, build a team. And that's why Rob is saying it's so authentic because, we use cannabis while we played, and we use it for specific reasons. For me, it's for pain, for chronic pain, things that people deal with on a daily basis, And so, one, we're trying to find solutions for that. Rob mentioned neurocognitive disease and trying to find solutions for that as well. But from our platform, being NFL players, we deal with, obviously, pain. We deal with neurocognitive issues as well. Not only NFL players, you got combat veterans, you got hockey players, you got soccer players, you got athletes in general. So we're just trying to create solutions for the masses and do it in an authentic way, do something that we built out ourselves.
I gotta point out, because people out there have to realize is that this isn't like we ain't dropping Calvin and Rob, and this ain't a media thing, and we ain't hanging. There's a good story, and I'm going to let Rob tell it. Is about 3 years ago, remember sitting outside, because I was thinking about how old's your baby now, because his baby's she's 3, right? So we were sitting outside, and this comes to how things come to fruition, and I always say resilient and patient like the plant, but this has been something on your mind. And I remember sitting outside, sitting down with you, and to get to this point. So when people have to understand is that we're just the athletes, that we're from Detroit, and you saw how we played on the field, but we're not just about it. We're about it because we care about the human aspect. And talk about the last 3 years and stuff like this from you realizing you can't blaze with the hockey guys.
Let me tell the story the right way if we're gonna tell the story. Goodness gracious. So obviously Darren's come over the house to get to meet. I'm of course honored to have a Detroit legend in the house. So he comes to the house and open the door, he comes in, says hi to my family, just had a baby at the time or about to have a baby, I can't remember. And I get ready to close the door, and it swings back open. There's 10 guys. He's got 10 guys with him. It's like 8 o'clock at night. They come in bringing cases of weed, and we cases. And let's just say I got smoked out of my own house that night. You know what I mean? But I love it. I tell that story all the time, man. I was so happy to be able to connect with you again and talk about it. But just like you, man, we've been in the you've been fighting for the same fight for a number of years. We're talking 2-3 years now. That we've been in the fight, and I'm sure you had to overcome a lot of things. We've had to overcome a lot of things, and it's just beautiful to see, man. People don't understand the mindset that the athlete has is just to kind of run through the wall. And it's just good to see you still here in this position, and we're here where we are. And man, just looking forward to hanging out on Saturday.
Well, I always look forward. I always say, don't tell me what, tell me who. And get educated, get medicated is another one. But the whole thing is, who are the people behind it? And you look at, these guys. You've seen those. You've cheered for them. You've worn those jerseys or stuff. So why would this not be the opportunity? And the best part, we're going to be out there real. Come out, pet some dogs, man.
Yeah.
Adopt a dog,
Fireworks
whatever.
at the end of the night.
All this stuff, and it's about community.
Yep.
Right, and I think that's a huge thing to you guys also. So talk about like the facility that you have and what primitive you're able to do, and how people like they can come to the dispensaries like the greenhouse, but how will they be able to learn more about what you're growing and different things, and maybe mention some of the strains or some of the different tinctures or rubs that you guys got going on?
We got a lot of information on our website, primitivegroup.com, our ARG handle @primitive_group. You can find a lot of information there, from our strains that we have going on to timelines, and even new things that we have going as far as some memorabilia and cool things that we can have come up that are exclusive to us, because we can do different things because we're athletes that on this stage in this industry, and like I say, we're here to just improve people's quality of life, and we're going to do that on Saturday. We're going to be out there. Our product will be there at Greenhouse. We're at a couple other dispensaries in the area, 315 and whatnot, and jars and such. But we look forward to the Greenhouse celebration of Juneteenth this Saturday, and just being able to, continue to announce our brand and what we stand for.
So, guys, I've got a list of questions ever since I started working with Darren McCarty, and I've learned more about this in a healing aspect versus just people using it for fun, right? And something that I would say that's very interesting about you guys that I want our viewers to understand. I know you guys because I come from a football background, right? Fantasy football. I probably know more about Calvin Johnson than you would like me to know about Calvin Johnson, right? And I don't know how you feel about people in the fantasy industry, but boy, do we love you. So, but now, knowing that you guys were going to come on the show, I had to do a completely different type of research on you guys, right? And one thing that I learned is this isn't just something like, hey, you know what, let me just put my name on it and go make some money. You're actually on the board are you currently still on the board? I don't know if you're still serving. I saw that you were on the board, or you still are on?
The Michigan Cannabis Association.
Are you still on the board? Okay, I didn't know if it was for a short, every year they change the board members or anything like that, but you're on the board. You're working, is it with the Harvard? So to try and find, and you're going to have to, there was so much information that I was reading about that I want you to explain to our viewers that this is something that you guys are actually investing in trying to learn and get more answers for people, because one of the biggest problems that I have is there's old people out in this world that are very depressed and they've got aches and pains. Yep. And on top of depression medication, and I'm going to get really angry, guys, on top of depression medication, doctors are willingly prescribing them pain medication. All right? These people are sad, lonely, depressed, and popping pills because they've got arthritis, and they continue to be given these. If I think people were to understand that, hey, this isn't a drug and there's more research going into it, more people would say, hey, let me at least look into this for my loved ones, for my growing old parents or grandparents. So it's not just about being an athlete or young dealing with pains. This is like an older generation that is getting addicted and falling asleep and not waking up after taking too many pills.
You talk about that, it's like, where do you start? There's so many different avenues.
Where do you start?
It's like, you talk about authenticity. We're here for a reason, because we dealt with those pains. We have brothers and people in other colleagues in other sports that have to deal with these neurocognitive issues. And I can speak to quality of life here. And I'll just say, like, when I was dealing with my pain, my swelling, when you're dealing with pain, you're a different person. You're probably an angry person. I know I was. I know I wasn't probably the most pleasant person to be around. But I have a solution to that now. So having these solutions, and I'll let Rob go into our partnership and consortium that we have with Harvard and whatnot, but just trying to find solutions to things that people deal with every day. Quality of life.
Rob, make sure you start with my Ohio State University.
The Ohio State University.
With the Ohio State.
Is
with that education, you were able to apply it?
Yeah, I was able to apply it. The offensive linemen are usually some of the smarter guys in the room. That's what they say. So, for me, and like Kyle just mentioned, quality of life, that's when I look at what we're able to do and what's in front of us. Like, the cannabis is just a start. Really, for us, we're in the quality of life business. And the fact that we've been able to play 9 years in the NFL. I was able to start 80 straight games for the Lions, which is, offensive lineman, you don't get many stats, but that's the one I can tip my hat from. And it's just because I just kept getting up every day and figuring out a way to recover the best and get back on the field. And cannabis is one of those things that helped me. And the way I look at it, if it's good enough for a Hall of Fame receiver that's about to put on the gold jacket, it's good enough for grandma with the tennis balls and the walkers that needs it.
Yeah.
So, for us, we always try to do things at a Hall of Fame level. And I know I'm going to throw all these things at you because that's just fun of the business with Calvin going into the Hall of Fame. But more than that,
I get it, Rob, with 4
upstream
cups over here and stuff like that. I mean, they're tough to raise my hands sometimes.
That's what I'm saying, man.
But you know what? I will raise the scissors up to the highest plant to get the tops for the people.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. Absolutely. It's really for the people. We've had our opportunity with fame and fortune, so this is not a money grab for us. This is, this is what we, believe very passionate about and want to share it.
What is it that you guys are working? I'm sorry. What is it that you guys are working with Harvard right now? Because that was a big thing that I was reading that I think people need to really realize the amount of work you guys are putting behind your brand.
We're gonna have opportunities to talk. Speak with Harvard, research stuff with Harvard in the fields of pain, chronic pain, and CTE. And we say CTE is neurocognitive disease. So there's a whole host of other diseases that can be treated. From this. And, if you look at places like Jamaica, they've had to use plant medicines to survive. They haven't had the medicines over here that we have. And as healthcare continues to rise, plant medicines people will need them more. And, now we just got to prove it through research, man. So we're in a great spot.
Can you tell who the speaker of the guys are? Rob, of course, back in 2014, just to let everyone know, the Detroit Sports Broadcasters and the Detroit Football Writers awarded him. They called it the Friendly Good Guy Award because he was media savvy. And, of course, Calvin, does it the quiet way. We didn't go to Calvin to get any big words. We went to Rob. We went to his locker. So can you tell?
Wasn't I a winner of that?
You got that on the hockey side. We know that. Everyone knows that.
Okay, well, I'm just saying.
I didn't go to Steve Eiserman.
So
I went to you.
Right. I'm looking for the synergies here. So why wouldn't, if you guys go to Rob and I or whatever, why wouldn't you do it now? It's painting that picture that We're telling you that you know it. My question to you guys, primitive without the E, so it's Primitiv. Where'd that come from?
Think about, primitive being original. Sorry, you think about primitive, you think about original medicine. Plant medicine. That's the original medicine that was put here. And it's not just cannabis.
No.
There's many other plant medicines out there, Western medicine, but cannabis in general has just been stigmatized over the last century or whatnot. And we have not been able to use it and study it to the point where we'll be so far advanced like other countries are today. So just think primitive, original medicine.
Got it.
Now, Matt gives me a roll-on. I'm a migraine sufferer. He gives me his special roll-on that I roll on my temples, my neck, and all. You guys
get that too.
You guys have that. You guys have that stuff.
On the way. It's on the way.
All right.
We got
that
a lot of
helps,
good things coming out of the pipe. Oh,
That helps.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
How involved are you guys? Is it just one strand? You guys have multiple strands?
We have about 15 right now.
15.
We have
How
half of
involved-
those in production.
How involved are you guys? And not just in the testing of it, but as far as what you want from it, the end result from it.
Yeah, I would say that we're, more than people think. In our business, me and Calvin have done everything from sweep the floors to prune the plants and everything. And I think for us, building a team and building the right culture is most important for us, and not just our cannabis business, but other businesses that we're going to get into. So just really important that we were able to get in there and do it from the ground up and understand it. And we value every member of our team, man. It's been great.
Guys, we have still so many more questions for you guys. Are y'all able to stick around another segment with us? All right, guys. When we come back, we've got. But they said yes.
Yes, we'll stay.
I saw them nod their head. I wasn't going to give them a choice. We locked all the doors in here. That's
guys are not
it,
going
guys.
anywhere.
Nobody's going anywhere. All right, guys. And that means you too. Nobody's going anywhere. You guys are tuning into The Hook on Woodward. Welcome back to The Hook on Woodward Sports Network, Detroit's all-digital sports network. Joining us live in studio, we've got Calvin Johnson and Rob Sims joining us talking about Primitive, their cannabis line. We're learning so much about you guys. Thank y'all so much for joining us. This weekend, you guys will be at the Greenhouse Summer of Cannabis Kickoff Party, which is at the Greenhouse of Walled Lake. And not only are you guys going to be able to meet...
Just follow the smoke.
Shut up. That was great. Were you sitting on that?
No,
That one was good.
no, it just
That
came
one
to
was
me.
good.
Just came to me.
You'll be able to meet
You've
Darren
been waiting all
McCarty.
day.
Will be there from noon until 1 p.m. Then Calvin and Rob will be there from 1 to 2. Then they're also going to have from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Lots of great artwork from 40 local artists. It's called the Summer in Bloom Art Fair. Blue Cow Dog Adoption Day will be there as well. Something else I think is great. It's going to be the opening of the historic Banks Is it Dolbeer? Dolbeer.
It's the Banks House.
The Banks House.
From the
Yeah, that's
historic
what they know it
Underground
be.
Railroad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which also was the home of Michigan's first female doctor, Sarah Banks. That's where they got the name. So, and of course, they will have their large annual Walled Lake Civic Fun fireworks show.
The Greenhouse put a lot of money into this, into that
100%.
fundraising for the Underground Railroad and that Banks House. So
Yep.
they're
So-
fully invested in that, and the guys are there to enjoy themselves. And Mac, what are you going to be doing there besides signing autographs?
Kissing babies.
There you go.
Talking education. Figuring out. Hopefully somebody leads me to the next greatest strain. I mean, who knows? Yeah, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask any football questions, and I got to start with you, Rob, because it's built on the line. What do you see? Not only with the first round overall pick, but my question to you is: how hard is it going to be for Penny Sewell to switch from the left side to the right side, or is it the continuity, or what as a fan do you look for to know that they're on the right track?
Yeah, I think a switch like that, especially somebody that's been playing on the left side a big part of his career. I know I had to do it back in Seattle at one point. It was a difficult transition. You're kind of doing everything backwards. But that being said, this young man, and what I understand, he's a generational talent. And more than that, what I can see from him, he's serious about his craft. So, he's going to be able to go into it. And as long as he just sticks with it, in this business, you can't lose if you don't quit. You know what I mean? So if he just goes in there and just does his thing and just continues to get better and don't get too caught up in the hype of being a first rounder, you'll be just fine.
Calvin, you got tons of records, 16 Lions records. You're going in the Hall of Fame. I mean, I saw that video when David Baker came up to your door and your family was there. And I mean, it was so touching. What was that day like, February 6th of this year?
Yeah, that day was, speechless to say. I mean, really can't describe the words that would describe that moment. My wife played me.
I saw that.
Like she never. I mean, I've never seen her pull something on me over 24 hours. Like hold a secret for that long. And she held that secret for 2 days, and it was easy because she said, "Hey, we got a family call. It's COVID. We do family calls every monthly." It was nothing, and then the doorbell rang. She said, "It's my friend Mel." I'm like, that's not Mel. That's somebody else. Let me go grab my pistol. Like this is and I went to the door. And she's like, "Don't grab your pistol. Just go to the door." And I was like, "I'm like, you trying to set me up?" Like, and then
I would love that. What's she doing here? Oh, sorry.
Stick him up, David Baker. Stick him up.
Oh my God!
The most Detroit way to get inducted to the Hall of Fame.
Captain's like, what about my boy? What about my boy? You giving him an extra vote? You deserve to be here too.
By the way, shout out from our own Chad Johnson. He says, shout out to CJ and Brittany
Chad,
and the family.
man, good people.
He wishes he could
haven't
have
seen
been
him in a
here
while,
today.
man. Look forward to it. Yeah.
He said he'll get you next time when he gets in town.
All good.
Hey, I'm
Jerry's busy.
I'm the old guy here, so I always go back and let's face it. You have a rule named after you. It's the Calvin rule. Take us back to that day against the Bears. I couldn't have, as a fan, I couldn't have thrown more stuff at my TV that day.
Yeah,
and I still, to this day, that's a catch to me. Randy,
I think
it's
the
a
question
catch.
is, did anybody come up to you and say either way, after everything was
I had
done?
I had officials come up and say a year or two ago that it was actually a catch. That should have been a catch. Of
course.
And then that day, I'm glad. Thank you for throwing stuff because I wish I could have had stuff to throw too.
Oh my God!
All I had was my helmet. I only had one. So.
And then it happened to Des Bryant a
yes.
couple of years after that. After they screwed the Lions out of a playoff win, the Cowboys went and got hammered the next week against the Packers. So I don't know. It just all comes together.
There's so many people that are talking about making a comeback, going back into the NFL. Would you ever consider it? Do you ever think about it? Even if you say nah, do you ever think about it?
I mean, of course you think about it, but then once you think about it and you do something like, hey, I go out here and play basketball, and you're like, oh yeah, that's why I stopped
You
playing.
pull something.
Or I do my camps every year, and I'm doing the drills with the kids, and I'm like halfway through, I'm like, yeah, this is why I'm done. I can't even make it through this. Like,
Hey, us Lion fans, we're jaded. You know, we haven't won a championship since 1957, one playoff win since 92. So we'll go back to it the way all Lions fans feel. Barry Sanders retired prematurely, and Calvin Johnson, to us, retired prematurely. Was it because you just had enough with the team?
I mean,
I know your body was hurting.
Yeah, obviously. My main thing was the body. I mean, there's other factors, but it's the body. I mean, we only get one of them, and like I say, it speaks a lot to quality of life. And like I say, I was not the same person when you're playing mad. When you're not when you're playing mad, because you kind of want to play mad. So you want to play with a chip on your shoulder. But when you're physical, the way you feeling physically changes, alters. You know, you as a person.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it really did then. It really affected you as a person.
Yes, 100%.
Did Brittany tell you that?
I'm
Your
sure
parents?
she would. You know what? I just did the football life, so there's probably some stuff in there that come out.
Football Life's coming on? When's Football Life
I
coming
don't know
on?
when. It'll be out, though.
Oh, my God. That's my
Oh, that's gonna
favorite.
be
That is
exciting.
my favorite show, man.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
So you don't know what they say whenever they interview like your wife?
You know, it's weird for me to sit in there because it just be like all these cameras and you and it's just weird to be in the room.
Like, what'd you say about me? Did you really mean
I would
that?
make her leave too if she was in here like doing this right now. You can't be
Hey,
here.
is Rob in it? Is Rob in Football Life
Yep.
with you?
Yeah.
I made the cut.
I love it,
See,
man.
I asked
I love
Calvin
it.
this, and to his point, I'll ask
Yeah.
you, Rob. You know, it's where I realized, and he said, you know, it's one of these things where, you know, value of life is bigger than the game. But where you're at right now, are you, Rob Sims? Are you happy? You know where you're at right now, being where you're at.
Yeah, you know, I'm extremely content of where I am. You know, I was blessed that my father played in the league. He's no longer with us, but I got to see the good, the bad, and the ugly of leaving and transition out of the game. And I knew I was prepared when I made that transition, even though it was still hard. And now all the work that we've been able to put in and where we are right now, I look back like, wow, this is great. I got something else I can chase, something else I can, you know, try to do, and it's a beautiful thing. So I'm content being Rob and with the 3 kids and the wife, and we just doing our thing, man. Doing
I love
our
it,
thing.
man.
One of the things that you said, Calvin, right now when Tom asked you about you leaving the game and how you felt, I think as fans to the game and the players, we always think, oh, they retired too soon, especially when you're playing fantasy. You retired way too soon, at the top of your game, right? But there's other guys, you know, not just Barry Sanders. Patrick Willis was one of the guys that just recently retired very young, and people were like, what? Do you guys think that if the league was actually to allow players to take cannabis as a form of treatment, that players would be staying a little bit longer?
You know, I do. I think so. For this reason, man, there's a lot of untold stories. I'm sure Darren could attest to that guys get messed up on opioids and stuff like that, trying to recover, trying to stay on the field or the ice. And this is something to me is very natural and safe. And I think if the NFL had the opportunity to allow guys to use it more and actually research it more and get better at it more, then I think you would have guys lasting a little bit longer. Definitely.
I agree with Rob. It's all about the education. You know, back then didn't really know all the applications that come with the plant. You know, topicals, tinctures. Obviously, you can smoke it, but I didn't know until I did Dance with the Stars that there's a topical that I could put on this ankle and the swelling would be gone. You know, so possibly if some of those things were available. Yeah, they're available, but if the knowledge was known, you know, and I was using things, who knows? Who knows if other people as well? I'm sure, you know, like I say, inflammation being a cause of pain, you know, that.
Hey, third place.
lost some things.
Third place, Dancing with the Stars.
Hey,
you
man.
got
Yeah.
robbed, man.
Talk about
You
that.
got
How
robbed.
was that
I mean,
experience?
Man, the guy-
Emmett Smith.
I
won
mean,
it.
you couldn't even dance at a house party, man. You gonna dance with stars? Don't believe
I
it.
had Lori Hernandez, man. I wasn't expecting to come in first place.
Yeah, she
I
was
really
good. Well,
wasn't.
she's a gymnast for crying out loud. She
really
should have won.
wasn't.
You're a big guy, man. It's harder for the big guys to get out on that
it
stage.
was.
Enjoy it?
Yeah,
It
looked
was
like it.
I didn't get paid enough. I tell you that, but I wouldn't do. I mean, it was a hell of an experience. I would advise you to do it if you ever had the opportunity to. It's a lot of time, though. It takes a lot of time.
Cups.
I like
Stick to
that.
judging
I like
those.
that.
How was the training for dancing versus the training for football?
It's just if you could just imagine doing footwork drills just for a couple hours during your training, just constant footwork drills. Yeah, that's constant cardio.
We were proud of you. I just wanted to let you know.
I appreciate
we
it.
were proud of you. That show's not the same anymore, but we're good.
You were robbed. You were
Who was
robbed.
wrong? Emmett, man. Emmett was the first footballer to break through.
Yeah,
Jerry
man.
Rice. I mean, NFL guys
And
have done
Emmett
great.
went up against
Wait, who was
Mario
it? Heinz Ward
Lopez.
too. Heinz
Yeah,
Ward
Heinz
won
won
it.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Heinz Ward won it.
Yeah, well, Emmett went up against Mario Lopez, and if anybody ever watched Dancing with the Stars, Saved by the Bell, that's all Mario ever did. All he ever did was twinkle toes everywhere, right? He was only dancing. So good for Emmett Smith because he beat out a dancer, straight up a dancer, not an actor.
Hey, I want to ask you guys about this new regime of the Lions. I mean, you guys have, know the story, you know the history of the Lions. Do you think they got it right this time? Do you think?
Got
I'll ask
obvious
Rob
over
first.
I think the GM's an absolute rock star. I think he's going to have an opportunity to really build a great team. I didn't get a chance to play with Dan. I know Calvin has, and I've heard nothing but great things. But we got to. It's always an uphill battle in Detroit. It just is. Go back to the rule that we were talking about with the Calvin Johnson rule and all that. I mean, that happened numerous times when we're playing. So they're going to need to get some help from some other folks too. But I think they're on the right track.
Calvin, what do you, or both of you, what do you look at as a former Lion and as a Lions fan as a successful year? Or what would you tell the fans, okay, watch this, look for this, because it is a retool, rebuild?
I would say look at my offensive and defensive line, see what the status of those guys are. I mean, like Rob said, and like we all know, it happens in the trenches, man. When we lost our defensive line right before I left, I think your year, when you left, they dismantled the whole defensive line. Sue gone, Fairley gone, C.J. Mosley gone, and we didn't refill them. So you're not going to win like that when you don't have prominent players at those positions. Yeah, we need receivers and quarterbacks and stuff like that, but you got to move the ball too.
How close was that team, man? And they lost to the Cowboys, but if that team stays together, that's a Super Bowl team.
That's the team. They blew it up.
Because the following years, the offense got so much better. And that, the offense wasn't clicking right then. But the following years, they did. And then, of course, we lose Sue and, like you said, Mosley and the rest of the defense.
That happened in 1 year, and they didn't replace them.
Yeah.
That's because the NFL changed the rules of the way they could sign players.
Yeah, that's why.
No, it's a fact. No, it's a fact.
Oh, that's why.
Well, they could have signed the big three: Stafford, Calvin, and
Rob.
and Sue.
And Rob.
And Rob.
And Rob.
Yeah,
Rob.
I love that.
And Rob.
Couldn't afford it.
So, Calvin, what are we expecting from Dan Campbell? You played with him.
Man, I'm not even gonna put nothing on him like that. I love Dan. I remember when I played with Dan, he played with one shoulder, like one that I don't know if it's 0-16 season or my first season, but he's a soldier. The guys are gonna respect him. Hopefully the honeymoon, phase lasts into the season. That means they're getting some wins. So that's all I can say.
Mac, you want to wrap it with your cannabis for the weekend again?
Yeah, exactly. So on Saturday in Walled Lake at the greenhouse, Primitive, which is the company owned by Rob Sims and Calvin Johnson. Yes, your two favorite Lions. Exactly. We're going to all be there for a whole day Juneteenth party. Now, I'm going to ask you on the way out, what would you like people who have questions? I always say, I'm not here to argue. I'm here for what do you mean by that, right? What is one of the things as far as the questions that people who are curious about even at the beginning? What are some of the questions maybe that you like to answer or to get into it? Because it got you and I, we all got down our rabbit holes,
Yep,
right?
100%.
To me, it was, do you know what an endocannabinoid system is?
Exactly.
Like why it works. You got to know why it all works and all the things that you were talking about earlier. But is there anything with Primitive or what you mentioned before, but specifically just through education, the stuff that we'll be talking about Saturday?
Yeah, I think, cannabis is one thing, but I think the other thing that we're trying to do here that's different is, we're running a business, and we've been teammates for over 10 years now. And we want to just continue to show people that we're legit in this space, and that we're bringing out something authentic and it's real, and it's just excited about where we are. We got a lot more hills to climb, a lot more things to conquer, but that's all right with us.
Love it.
Yeah.
Hey, I can't let you go without Matthew Stafford. He's gone. Are you happy for him?
Yeah, I was talking to Matthew yesterday, man. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was talking to Matthew yesterday. Matthew's doing well. I'm happy for him because he's happy that he's out in California. Him and his beautiful family. They're loving their time out there. So when he's comfortable, he's good where he's at. You can only expect good things from him. So I look forward to seeing him out there. And plus, on top of that, we got a friend out there, receiver Van Jefferson. Sean Jefferson. He was my receiver coach in Detroit for a long time. His son is playing with Matthew now out there, so that's pretty
Out
cool.
of Orchard Lake, St. Mary's.
There you go. Yeah.
Wait, is this someone we should be keeping?
Van actually played ball here. Yeah, Orchard Lake, St. Mary's. Yep.
Is this someone we need to be?
Are you a little jealous of Matthew that he got to go to another team?
You know what? It sucked that they didn't let me go, but they let Matthew go. But hey, it is what it is. I'm
Where would you have
not
wanted
mad
to
at Matthew.
go?
I love Matthew.
Did you want to be a Raider?
Man, I would have went anywhere.
Come on, what was your top 3 picks?
I honestly, I didn't have the top 3 picks. I just guys that I would have loved to play with. Like the top quarterbacks in the league. Obviously, Matthew was one of them. But we play against Aaron Rodgers every week.
Yeah.
So playing with him, Drew Brees, I played with him in the Pro Bowl, so that's cool. Just guys like that. You just you dream. You can always dream.
I know, but did you ask?
Did I ask? Yeah, when they wouldn't at the end there when it was time to retire. On the way out, we asked would they release me or let me go to another team. They wouldn't. No.
I think Barry did the same thing. I think
Yeah,
the
he did.
Dolphins were like the leading contenders to get him, and it's unfortunate because
You're not going nowhere.
right. You're not going anywhere, and that's part of the reason that you kind of got mad at the Lions for a few years. But we're glad you're back in the family now.
Yeah.
I'm not back in the family with the Lions or anything like that. It'd be nice too if they try to resolve things, but that's neither here nor there. I'm here. I'm always here to support the players. That's what it's about, supporting the players.
Absolutely.
Well, thanks,
And
guys, for coming in. Rob, thank you.
No better way
Thank
than
you.
what
Appreciate
you're
it.
doing with the primitive brand.
Thank you guys. And where can people follow you guys and learn more about your product?
Follow us at Primitive Group, primitive_group. Primitivegroup.com is our website. And just follow along, and we'll be posting and keeping up to date with the things that are going on Primitive.
And we'll see you Saturday at the Greenhouse in Walled Lake.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Looking forward to seeing y'all at Greenhouse Saturday, Juneteenth.
All right, guys.
We got a brand new
thanks.
tent.
What did you say?
We got a brand new tent. So I'm excited about our tent. You'll see it.
I'm only bringing half the crew this time.
Yeah, it's just
Take it
half.
easy on you,
Yeah,
but
I
I'm bringing the
was
power-
overwhelmed. I
I'm
was
bringing the
overwhelmed.
power half.
Yeah.
Blunts will be there, so there'll be enough. There'll be enough rolled.
That is.
Just going to see D-Mac, though. It really is.
Are you? Oh.
Then he'll bring his rings for you.
pick up some
I need an autograph.
See Calvin, so-
Matt, bring
I want
your
an
rings.
autograph.
What's that?
Bring your rings.
Yeah, bring your rings, man. We got you.
Dude, if you think that those aren't in a safety deposit box way away from me, you gotta be fucked. Dude, I would have had those sold, passed out, whatever. Dude, those are way above my pay grade.
Oh, man.
I just make it. For the rest of you.
Thanks, fellas.
Love it,
Yeah.
guys.
Hey, thanks, guys.
It's
Appreciate
an honor
it.
to have you.
Congratulations on your brand, Primitive. People can check out their website, primitivegroup.com. Follow them on social media at Primitive Group. And of course, go to the Greenhouse Summer of Cannabis kickoff party at the Greenhouse of Walled Lake this Saturday. Great stuff happening it's 8 a.m. is when the party starts. You don't want to miss that. So don't go anywhere. We've got so much show left for you guys. You're tuning into The Hook on Woodward Sports Network.